To you, and thank you for joining us here on the Wednesday edition of CTS News. I am Louisa Lee. In a bid to promote the beauty of Taiwan, President Ma Ying-jeou joined many young people in a joyride on bicycles last weekend in Taipei. Ma also encouraged the youth to celebrate the ROC centennial anniversary by starting around the island cycling trips.
President Ma got into his bicycle riding clothes to lead more than 200 teenagers in this event. It took the president only about 20 minutes to finish riding the 10-kilometer course. He was even able to dance with the Aboriginal students at the finish line, surprising many students with his fitness. This round-the-island bicycle trip on Taiwan's 100th anniversary was hosted by the National Youth Commission to encourage teenagers to ride around Taiwan with their friends. The trip will take place in May, which happens to be the same time that President Ma took his round-the-island trip 4 years ago during his campaign. Thus, this event seemed to target young voters and is preparing the president for his re-election. People are speculating whether Ma would choose Premier Wu as his running mate, which Ma refused to answer. This National Youth Commission event allowed President Ma to interact with teenagers at a close distance, showing that the president is slowly warming up for his campaign. Seems like Ma's camp is aggressive in pushing Ma's love of sports to attract young voters.
And the insufficient rainfall is hurting the local tourism, with the water level of the Sun Moon Lake dropping 5 meters, marking the lowest in 5 years. Even though the recent downpour has brought in about 20 centimeters of water, the National Scenic Area Administration says that they may have to shut down the 3 docks in the area if the situation does not get better.
The Sun Moon Lake, located in central Taiwan's Nantou County, has long been famous for its crystalline emerald green waters and the high mountains surrounding it. However, the drought is changing the natural scenery of the lake. Part of the lake has dried up, and tourists can see the supporting pillars of the wharves that were supposed to be underwater. The lake in central Taiwan is a main source for power generation, irrigation, and drinking water, and is a well-known sightseeing spot for domestic and international tourists. Back in February, the lake had a water level of 748 meters, but within just 3 months, the level has dropped by 5 meters, while the level measured now is only 0.4 meters higher than the safety limit of 742.5 meters required for water level surrounding the wharves. Even though the water level has risen for 20 centimeters because of the rain over the past few days, the Sun Moon Lake National Scenic Area Administration says that it will have to temporarily shut down 3 major wharves and suspend boat cruises if the water level continues to fall to 738 meters for safety concerns. If the wharves are closed down, it will surely bring negative impact on local tourism.
And who can resist the temptation of flying to New York from Taipei for less than $400 NT? I know I can't, and apparently others cannot let the opportunity pass them by as well. A huge crowd of people was seen over the weekend at this year's Taipei Tourism Expo, fighting for the best bargains in town. Now let's take you to the scene of the 4-day event, which consisted of 750 booths from 300 companies.
Customers rush forward and make a grab for one of the 50 suitcases on stage. Hidden inside one of the suitcases is a $399 NT round-trip ticket between Taipei and New York. Upon finding the ticket, Mrs. Lin just couldn't keep herself from jumping up and down in excitement. She arrived at the Taipei World Trade Center to line up at 7 a.m. and said that the early bird gets the worm. Great deals and bargains can be found at the Taipei Travel Expo, including 5-star hotel afternoon tea vouchers for just 99 NT dollars. As a number of vendors were offering deals that were free for children, many brought their entire families to the expo. Others made an effort to attract the attention of children with dolls and other toys. Vendors sold more than 500 Taipei to Hong Kong packages that were 3,999 NT dollars on Friday and competed with one another to see who could offer the lowest prices. 5-day Thailand packages were available for less than 5,000 NT dollars, while 5-day Fujian Xiamen packages were available for less than 6,000 NT dollars. With summer approaching, consumers had their pick of inexpensive holiday packages.
And in related news, Fit Tour travel agency is currently facing a financial crisis. And after reporting its losses, the Tourism Bureau is calling a stop to all its future routes, which will ruin the vacation for more than 500 travelers. As for the 60 clients who are still abroad at this moment, the Travel Quality Assurance Association is making arrangements for them to complete their trip.
Fit Tour tour agency on Songjiang Road officially shut its doors for good due to financial loss in the company. The Tourism Bureau has already issued a declaration to the company to stop sending out any more tour groups and to stop all operations. The agency currently still has 60 tourists abroad in Bali and Long Beach Island. The Travel Quality Assurance Association is ensuring that all 60 tourists will be able to complete their itinerary. However, over 400 tourists who were set to travel to Long Beach Island on July will not be able to travel abroad. According to statistics, over 500 tourists have already paid for their tour package prices, totaling 7.8 million NT dollars. Will these tourists be able to reclaim the full or down payments they made out to the agency? TQAA says that the Tourism Bureau will make payments to consumers according to insurance policies, while the rest will be covered by the TQAA and other consumer protection groups. Tourists affected have a 30-day grace period to file a claim for their payments. It is estimated that insurance companies will take around a month to process the report, and consumers will be able to reclaim their payments after 3 months. Should consumers encounter any conflicts in the process, they can take it up with the TQAA and get relevant identification documents.
And if you are a regular customer of discount taxi services, then be prepared to see an increase in your transportation costs very soon. Starting next month, all cash discounts offered by local cab operators will be canceled due to a recent regulation change by the Ministry of Transportation and Communications. The discount strategy, while an effective incentive for attracting customers, has long been criticized by labor unions because taxi drivers are often forced to cover the discounts themselves. Many of them feel exploited as a result, especially when fuel prices keep rising. However, operators worry that the ban on discounts would turn off potential cab riders and hurt the industry, so new marketing plans are already being formulated to lessen the impact. Former Taiwanese track and field star Goo Weng finally ended his 12-year legal nightmare last week when the Hualien branch of the Taiwan High Court cleared him of involvement in the Uni-Air explosion accident in 1999. And Goo wasted no time to share the good news with another sports legend, Ji Zhen, who has given Goo tremendous support during his ordeal.
A big hug. Former track and field athlete Goo Weng gave Ji Zhen a big thank you at the Ji Zhen Foundation for her help for the past 12 years. In 1999, Goo was alleged to be involved in the explosion of the Uni-Air airplane, and the verdict was guilty for the first and second ruling. After that, Ji Zhen introduced a lawyer to Goo while kept his family company, for Ji believed that Goo is innocent and would not see an innocent man wrongfully accused. After the case is closed, Ji asked her friend to cook the pig knuckle rice vermicelli for Goo to get rid of the bad luck. Goo is currently in Taeyong working as a PE teacher as he's ready to start a new chapter of his life.
And the 2011 Career Planning Workshop for Overseas Chinese Students was recently held by the OCAC, attracting more than 100 soon-to-be college graduates from schools across the country to participate in the hope of getting valuable career advice.
To help overseas Chinese students to successfully get an employment, the OCAC organized the 2011 Career Planning Workshop for Overseas Chinese Students, where more than 100 soon-to-be college graduates attended the event. When attending the opening ceremony, Vice OCAC Minister Ren Hong said that the education policy of overseas Chinese students have gradually expanded from a mission to career planning, with plans to loosen the restrictions on work permits for overseas Chinese students seeking employment in Taiwan after graduation. The workshop is aimed to prepare these students for the competitive job market. While some people already have interview opportunities, some are still thinking whether they should stay in Taiwan or go back to their residential countries. Participants hope to understand more about their personal traits and job-seeking tips through the 2-day, 1-night seminar. Famous Dr. Yang Mingchen, who grew up in Myanmar and came to Taiwan for higher education, was also invited to give a speech to share his experiences of making it in Taiwan.
And a factory in Yunlin County's Windy Village is keeping its traditional method of rice milling. Local farmers have been depending on this old machine that has been running since the Japanese colonial period. Now let's take you to witness the conventional procedure of producing the most important staple food in Asia.
Bags of rice are emptied into the traditional grinding mill. The worker employs a step-by-step process to turn the golden stalks into white rice. The mill has been in use since the era of Japanese occupation, and few like this one can still be found today. The owner of this plant, which is located in Yunlin County, says that most traditional grinding mills have been replaced by modern equipment. However, this mill was constructed from juniper, promotes air circulation, and is impervious to moisture. The plant is open to tourists and helps the public become acquainted with early farm life and understand how hard laborers had to work back in the day.
Though afflicted with Parkinson's disease for more than 20 years, renowned composer Taeyong is as devoted to music as ever. Now approaching 70 years of age, Lee proves to his fans that there's still a lot of great songs left in him.
Suffering from uncontrollable body tremors and worsening vision, renowned composer Taeyong, who has been affected by Parkinson's disease for 22 years, tries hard to live a normal life, writing songs and taking part in social activities. His recent work includes the new version of national anthem for the country's centenary. In his late 60s, the musician needs to have the battery replacement for a deep brain stimulator every 5 years, and these surgeries cost more than $1 million have yet to be paid. The thyroid tumor recurs lately, making the already difficult life even worse. Lee is a prolific composer and has written many famous tunes such as Olive Tree and In the Rain. But due to the background of the time, which didn't have the concept of copyright, songwriters didn't have the protection of royalties. Having recently gone through another operation, Lee is very weak, but still cares about many unfinished projects, saying that he would continue to write songs when he feels better. Although he couldn't speak or pronounce clearly, his songwriting skills are still as strong as before.
And a new stage drama is now showing, which incorporates several superstars and popular fictional characters, from the late international kung fu actor Bruce Lee to singer Feng Feifei and to the Japanese cartoon figure Gatchaman. Now here on CTS, let's check out this entertaining combination.
Lucy Lee, Welcome to the 70s, is a stage show that has nothing to do with the story of Bruce Lee. Asia Pacific Film Festival Best Actress Zhang Rongrong performed in stage drama for the first time and said that the audience would love the show. A total of 10 actors will perform 50 roles. Director Wang Jiaming combined famous characters of the 1980s with romance, history, sci-fi, mythical stories, folk songs, and cha-cha. After the last production called Michael Jackson, which brought audience back to the 90s of the pop culture, Wang continued with his trilogy. He used Bruce Lee as a symbolic core, taking audience back to the 80s, a time when Taiwanese political changes were influenced by the world, and also a time for people in Taiwan to understand their environment and to realize who they were.
The National Alliance of Parents organization held a family cookout this past weekend for the International Day of Families that is celebrated on May 15th every year. The Putting Love on the Table event was carried out in 5 different cities across the island to portray the significance of spending quality time with family members.